So yeah, yep. Mr. Elwin has been passed up. He's blacked out over there in the corner and not deciding to help at all. So, we left off that you were in the Project Life Seed building in the upper mid levels, and on the roof you have saw a couple of spaceships dropping down some evil robots and mechs, and it's a race to the basement to the vault. Whoever shall receive the life seed first can well, I think the idea that you guys wanted to go was keep it hostage and maybe negotiate peace. And if the moon people get it, well, I guess that's a good thing too. So it's a win-win. Again, I think the point that was brought up is if we go for it, we might be able to negotiate for them to leave. Maybe.
I don't think Kitty is, big into this whole negotiation business.
That is a really good point. They're only here to get it. And
I think we first need to get some transportation, a good truck or something. But yeah, after that,
yeah, you got yourself a van, which still has quite infinite amount of fuel. That does make me wonder if Finland survived the apocalypse. Probably. We are quite far out. So, you go back to the bathtub that the other party made last session.
Why did they make a... Yeah, sure.
Well, they needed to sail, so they found a bathtub that was made of like plastic, so it floated on top of water. So, and then they managed to find a couple of like old tires and like duct taped the tires on the bottom of the bathtub, so it could actually float in the water, so they can cross the water. That was their big plan last session.
I've seen worse.
Oh yeah, and they stole your duct tape.
You bastards! You bastards!
It's so odd to talk to only one dude. It's usually like 4 dudes at least talking on top of me.
Yes. And usually nothing related to the actual game.
No. Well, at least you showed up for this one. I really appreciate that.
What? Who? What?
So, deciding that, you know what? Let's just let them have the life seed. You leave the building, see the mechs kinda rummage through the building and eventually leave as you sail back to your hippie van.
Woohoo! Hippie van.
Well, that ruined the Caesar's plan, but... So, you're in front of the hippie van and look at it and you bring out the world map or whatever is left over it and kind of look at it and notice that there's Mexico and a couple of other interesting places. Maybe Florida was brought up.
Let's see, we're in New Orleans at the moment. Yeah, Florida? I mean, Florida was a shithole before the war, and it's probably not gotten any better, but Kitty wouldn't know that.
You know what, if it was up to me, I don't know how it's in the lore of Fallout, but I would say that Florida wasn't even... it was like non-existent at this point. It doesn't exist.
Kitty is going to look at the map and conclude that Florida looks like a dick, and therefore suggest that we go there and explore it. Should there be a comma between stop and Kitty, or is someone supposed to stop me?
Damn communist. Well, those are definite options. The Mexico and Texas.
I mean, we probably don't want to go over the sea. So we would we? I think we'd have to go through Texas to reach Mexico, right?
Yeah. I think so.
Oh, I mean, the Republic of New Texas is immediately to our left or west. So, yeah. Let's get to the whatever road. Is that 81? And head west.
Your three options nearby you is obviously the Mississippi, Arkansas, or Texas.
Woo, Texas!
Alright.
We'll go and explore the ruins of Lafayette and the Delphi tribal settlement.
You hit the gas pedal and drive fast as you can, leaving the New Orleans behind into the dust.
Run away, run away!
You drive past the sandy area of the blasts and looked it up at the devastation. Even in the distance you see an old aircraft carrier that has been blown by the wind.
Aww.
As you see New Orleans burn in the side mirror.
I mean, how close is it? Because scrap.
It's like in the horizon. You can see it. It's a bit threshold way, but
Well, I mean, we don't have any way of getting over to it because
no, it's sand. It's literally in the top of. You could walk there, but that's about it. Yeah, winds are not very sand friendly. Let's put it like that.
Oh well.
Okay, let's see. Thank you. In the middle of the travel, as you have driven few hours away from New Orleans, and say your final goodbyes to your fallen comrades and people that you have known, and realize that at some point Scar and Elwin fell out of the seat and are somewhere probably in New Orleans dying. As you're traveling nearby the sand, you look into the sand and it looks like something is moving and at a quite fast pace towards your car. What do you do?
All specs. Check what the heck it is.
Well, you assume that these are what are known as rat scorpions or something similar.
Ah!
It seems that they are chasing your van.
Anyone got any explosives?
Oh yeah, you count up to about 4 of them.
Right. Chuck them out. And oh wait. I'll see if we have something, food-like that we could slather on the frag grenade to act as bait, and then, just to drop it and wait for them to eat it.
Alright. You draw a frag into the sand. It's just harmlessly.
No!
We should shove a bit of sand away, but that's about it. In the ensuing mess, you see a glimpse of one of the creatures. It seems that they are not quite scorpions, but some kind of a sand crawler that has been mutated.
Oh shit.
As Mark throws a Molotov at it seems that this fire manages to scare them away. As you speed off. So you were going towards Texas, you're following that road there. Unless you wanna go through the swamps. the more direct truth.
We are in a hippie van. We probably don't want to go through the, marshlands.
Okay. That is a good point. You drive for quite a long time in your van. It's not exactly a wagon meant for speed, but at least there's no traffic. So, after a long drive, you come at the near Baton Rouge as you see quite a busy city with quite big walls that has been constructed from all kinds of scrap, and you see many people walking about in pomp colors and what seems to be Legion armored people walking about and looking up, watching the place over.
So what was our standing with the Legion again?
You don't have a standing with them. You don't have any beef with them, and they don't really have any beef with. Actually,
Good.
no, that would be Metagame. But,
Good.
Yeah.
Then we should probably fuel up and keep on going. Oh yeah, and Kitty, while we hopefully take a small break, she is going to try and fix up any small problems with the car and its engine.
Alright. You stop by the Legion territory, and oddly enough, this place receives quite a lot of travelers, so they seem to let you in, but it seems that whatever here has been priced here is triple the cost. So it's a high tourist attraction, but and they sell from anything from to anybody, honestly, over here. Well, I don't think you need to actually fuel your car because it's nuclear powered, so it will never freaking run out.
I mean, you never know.
Well, at least you managed to fix up the minor problems that this car had left over from the years of
neglect.
Yes. Let's see, how much is a Molotov? Normally, let's see, it says triple the price. So, yeah, triple the price. Everything here is expensive as hell. Yeah, fire bomb is 5, so 10 times 3. Yep. So after you stop by the rest and probably eat and waste, let's say, couple of cabs here. You start driving towards the ruins of Lafayette.
Lafayette.
Okay. Oddly enough, the travel is quite uneventful as you look at the beautiful scenery. Well, much as beautiful it can be after the bombs have failed.
Yeah.
You figure out that it would be probably nice to set out a farm over here. It seems that the land is a little desolate, but hey, there's plenty of room. You stop by the ruins of Lafayette, and you drive past the ghost town that seems to have seen its better days. As you see nobody around, as you see the tumbleweed just roll about in the town, and you see hear the creaking of the doors just kind of there. As you hear the wind howling through the empty lofts that are still standing here. As you look around the town, you really cannot spot anything. You think you can see an occasional shadow moving about, but it truly feels empty. In one of the corners of the building, the most notable thing that you can notice here is a burn mark, which you recognize as flamer damage.
I am checking if there's anything, radioactive or otherwise, interesting with the Auspex in terms of loot.
Alright. Well, it seems that whoever lived here has been mass exterminated with a bunch of flamers, as Kitty manages to find like a storage house full of fuel. Well, not completely full of fuel, but there's enough of it and a couple of nice hand flamers. And she managed to find like a mass grave that is just filled to the brim with burned out corpses.
Ooh. Just like home. We shall grab some more fuel so that when we inevitably have a road accident, we'll all die in a fireball.
Oh yeah, you can definitely see like all the Legion markers here, but you're not sure if the Legion was in control of this city or they were the one that caused the extermination.
Well, whatever it is, they're dead now.
That is a fair point. That is a good question. Shall you go towards the ruins of Alexandria or the tribal settlement that, well, you don't know anything about either? It's not.
I will take a moment to ponder the question.
It's not like anybody of this party started to ask about rumors coming out of this town, city, out of New Orleans or anything.
North is cold, so let's not go cold.
Good point. That is also a fair point.
But that's not based on logic. That would require a map reading skill.
So, west? Alright, west it is. You've tried. You're looking into the swampland and desolate desert. It's honestly really boring driving past just this complete wasteland that has nothing left of it. Into the distance up north you see a small little area that seems wooded. You figure out that it might be nice if you became woodcutters and maybe started a town over there. It's nearby a river too, but despite that, you keep driving. Well, you don't know that exactly if it's clean or not. Hell, it's all radiated, so maybe if you set up like a good water purification unit. And Kitty is quite good at mechanics, so maybe if you asked her nicely. But before you have time to wonder that, you stop by as you're driving, and you see like an old trail caravan camping site, as you see many shit, what? Many camping out cars. I don't know the exact word of it right off the top of my head. And you see many tribal people over there. They don't seem to be hostile. It seems that they are just determined living out their own lives. You see many of the old grills used as improvised campfires, and old steel barrels used as like hot baths. As you see a fire, and they're lifted on some steel bars, and it seems that these tribals, whoever are here, seem to have a quite nice life. They're not exactly the most mutated either, so you figure out that this part of the world was somewhat untouched by the radiation. Well, at least the water. Well, cleaner water than usual, I probably would imagine. Well, I guess you can stop by and
You could
test
try.
it.
Meanwhile, let me scan it for any pathogens or whatever shit.
In fact, as you stop by and go to the local river source over here, you notice that the path has been blocked, and there's like a small little crevice that the water is leaking from, and whatever is blocking it seems to be cleaning the water somewhat. So it's actually somewhat drinkable. Nature's own way of cleaning this small little blot of water.
I was really expecting that Kitty just, takes a metal mug and scoops up some of the water, starts testing on it, and then, like 20 seconds later, the bottom of the cup just falls out.
No. It's honestly not bad. It's good. I mean, you do see like a slight trace of radiation, but it's honestly small. I mean, the only problem with establishing town here is the tribals that you saw at the caravan over there in the spot. You would be invading their water source and their little campsite. That is definitely an option, just going there and exterminating them like the evil creatures that you are.
Hmm.
Yeah, or if you had C4, or well, it's those. What the fuck are those? The name of those like cars that have like a living space to the back of them?
RV?
RVs, yeah, thank you. They're living out like old RVs there. It's like an RV camping site. How the hell did I not remember that?
I do not know.
Somehow I just freaking brain farted. Okay. You count up to about
I know.
You count up to about 30-ish people living out in this little RV's camping space, having a wonderful, peaceful time.
Kitty has a master plan. I mean, she has a cunning plan. So, we have the, van full of fuel.
Yeah.
So what if we go over there, all peaceful-like? Well, the two of us. You can stay and, snipe. And we offer them the fuel and say that we would like to, start our own village there over there. And we offer this as tribute, and then you are totally okay with us using your water. And then we just hand over the fuel, and whatever they do, we just stay away from the stack of fuel. And if they say, okay, that's good, then we'll just leave. And if they say, no, you're idiots, and we are taking the fuel, and we may possibly also try to murder you in the face, then, sniper from afar sets kablooey to all the fuel. And then murderize them all.
So you wanna approach the campsite? Oh, well, yeah. Vincent and Markar. No?
They are furiously typing.
Yeah, they are furiously typing indeed. About ways how to kill them.
Yes.
Why not just fucking poison their water supply while you're at it? Yeah, you need it, so... I was honestly waiting, so let's booby trap those fuel cans with C4 or something. They don't need it.
Well, yeah, basically. We offer them as tribute, and, when they take them inside, then kablooey! Boom, no more Chinese laundry.
So you wanna try and go in there and sneak in and slit throats? Okay. Well, I guess you wait till night, ignoring Kitty's plan, and you notice Mark sneaking into the camp while all of the people are sleeping. There's a few guards, but they don't exactly spot you. And as the night goes through, and you go look at they're pretty much defenseless, man. Even the guards who are there is just no match for you. Oh yeah, it's like within the dead of the night, and you rolled so good. I'm gonna tell you that they're not gonna beat you with a perception of 25. So, as like 4 hours pass, and Kitty and Vincent come and look Mark's handiwork, they come into the RV site, which is full of dead people, from children to adults. Just all dead, as Mark seems to be oddly smiling at this fact.
Well, too late now.
And this is why I don't run evil cat base anymore.
Well, you know. Ooh, I happen to know a good murder pit a while back. We could go and dump the bodies. What should we call the place?
Kitty Nation.
Kittiesburg.
Cat Heaven. New Orleans / Kittitopia. The place with the dudes in.
I think Backstabberstan should come up somewhere sometime as a place name.
Radical dude place.
Right. Well, while we figure out the name.
Yeah, you have time for that. You got a mayor and a security officer to nominate, and unless you go with a president and call this a new nation.
Fuck no! Kit is going to start building defenses because someone is trying to come in and slit our throats.
It's an RV camp, so it is somewhat guarded by some trees, or well, dead trees. But,
trees? Holy crap.
Well, you know, like how RV sites are usually like covered by hedges and sometimes like trees and whatever. But yeah, it's an RV site, so there's the RVs themselves, which has quite a many beds and some kitchens and outside grills and usually like a small little area intended for swimming and one for like drinking water. You go through the cabinets of the old RVs. It seems that this place was quite active with hunting, and you find quite some food. It's not exactly all good, but it's edible. Oh yeah, you shove the corpses into the car and drive back to the Lafayette and throw them into the pit. And yeah, you eventually take a couple of days and clear out the camp from the corpses and you don't exactly get raided by anybody, and you establish yourself a nice little 3-people town. Well, we don't even... Well, I was planning to do the TPK inside of the life seat building, but since we're going with this, let's go with what happens for the rest of their life, because I'm assuming that you guys want to establish this town and see what happens. So let's go with who's the mayor. Alright, Vincent is the mayor. Do you have like a security officer or... Alright, Mark, and I assume like Kitty is head of science division or something. Kitty is my wife. Is that your first degree as mayor? So, yeah, that makes sense. So, what's your like overall goal with this new town of yours? Just live out the rest of your days as peacefully as you can, or recruit like more people here, or what's like the overall like plan?
I mean, obviously, we're going to establish a trading post and also, you know, demand tribute from everyone who wants to pass through our town or its immediate surroundings.
Alright, it's a trading town. What do you want to trade? What's your specialty?
I think that it's basically every time we see a caravan, we could just, you know, flip a coin and see if we either take them out and steal their stuff, or if we trade with them. And obviously from the ones that we kill and steal their stuff, we can trade what they used to have.
Oh, alright. So you're going with the hostile in the first years, and then go slightly easier when you have established yourselves. Alright, since we have that established, is there like some security that you want to build around the settlement?
Obviously. Kitty is going to build.
So how's the war going?
Over time.
Oh, they kind of gave up and started to live out their lives
Yes.
at an RV camp.
Yes, we became trailer trash.
That's sad to know.
I
We
mean,
left New Orleans and made it to the
Oh yeah,
Delphi tribal
Chris,
settlement.
they pretty much literally said, "Fuck your last quest. We're not gonna do this. Let's go and become army people."
Yeah,
I mean-
Vincent married Kitty. Mark killed an entire settlement of 30-some people in their sleep by slitting their throats with an axe. And, yeah, now we own a town.
Oh yeah, no. So what was
Oh,
the
and,
defense?
yeah.
You wanted to build like a wall and something?
Yeah, Scar and Elvin fell out of the back of the car as we were driving, so...
Alright, well,
Yes, they had an accident
An accident.
several times.
Well, it's good to know that watching the entirety of New Orleans burn down, you had no sense of urgency wanting to stop that. You were just like,
oh
fuck
no,
it.
they just look at
Alright,
the
back
fucking
to life.
side window and went like, well, we didn't really want to be there anyways, fuck it.
Yeah.
And now we own our own settlement.
Oh yeah, and
Which is gonna be way better.
Oh no, I hope it lasts. I hope it like.
By the way, you want to know
No.
the name that we came up with?
Oh god.
New Backstabistan.
alright, surprisingly enough, the
I
first
throw
year...
Elvin.
For the first year of your government, you actually do really well. You stop the occasional caravan and slit their throats and take their gear and sell a lot of coinage and
Dear God, you guys turned into raiders.
No, raiders
What the
move around. We're staying put.
hell did I
The
miss?
prey comes to us.
To my knowledge, the raiders in fucking
Yeah.
Boston held
Yeah.
fucking entire goddamn factories.
in a year you make about 6,000 caps or you count up to it. You manage to get a couple of slaves and actually let me roll if you get any slaves. Let me roll. 200.
Wait.
No, not really.
What happened? I'm
Oh,
very
Scar is
confused.
dead.
I died.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
fell
you guys
from
fell out of the
back.
Several times.
Did anyone else know how to drive the car out of curiosity?
No,
That
not
happened.
really.
I do.
Alright, well, Drew did, so you know, at least that happened.
Yeah,
don't
but
ask
give
me,
me
Scar.
the-
I wasn't here. I went to go do other things. There was no way I could bring in a character.
Okay, so here's the
overslept.
basic-
No.
Here's the basic rundown. We all fled New Orleans after seeing the tons of robots. You guys fell out of the back of the car, and then we drove through Baton Rouge and Lafayette to a little tribal settlement. Mark waited till midnight and slit everybody in the camp's throat, like at least 30 people with an axe. Now we own a settlement, and we capture slaves and ransack caravans to sell to the Legion.
Woohoo!
Alright.
Yep.
In your third year of government, you have established yourself as quite a big settlement, as you have many slaves and probably even a couple of your own kids running about at this point, if you have been doing some of the female slaves, or Kitty and Vincent have been doing it. If
They've
fell
been getting it
along.
on like Donkey Kong.
Well, Marcus, you don't need to fall in love to get someone pregnant.
Unfortunately, it's not going too well, as it's kind of a rough neighborhood, and the food is kind of getting low, honestly, and it seems that that's not a lot of food, as your people are starting slightly getting nourished.
Yeah, I think as we become more and more established, we will be a bit more civilized and less bloodthirsty. And speaking of defenses, Kitty has been building the whole perimeter around the city to be covered in both minefields and subterranean turrets.
And turtles. You need the turtles.
Ain't
You need
that
mines.
I mean, the turtles are occasionally wandering around and getting blown up by the landmines.
So
No.
So your plan
Use
is
the
to sell
turtles
some
to the
slaves?
mines.
Alright. Well, alright. You start selling some of your slaves and grant them lots of your land, I guess. If they're really useful. No? Vincent is against that?
And then Skies come back to life and begin to murder everyone in this town for being slaver. Because I don't think falling off the back of a car was truly kill Scar.
Well,
I said repeatedly.
Well, I mean, you did kind of land in New Orleans still, so I mean, you kind of did land next to the building that was full of mechs, by the way, too. So most
I'll be
likely you're in a
alive.
battle with a mech right now.
I'll win.
I was starting to correct that. Well, like I said, this place is... Actually, let me see how desolate is this land. Okay, it's enough so some crops will grow, but like not enough to sustain yourself forever. Well, I don't think Kitty knows too much about agriculture.
I mean, if I've gotten any experience, I might.
Well, you haven't exactly... Like I said,
I mean,
you have been doing raiding caravans for 3 years. So unless
Yes.
you studied yourself in that time, you know, Kitty
I
has
mean-
been kind of bored. Maybe after she has built some fences and defenses, she might have some time to read like Farming for Idiots.
Farming for vault dwellers. I mean, she was basically in the research station. She did do a lot of biology stuff.
Yeah, that is fair. She does have some experience. So, I was gonna say roll me agriculture, but there's no such skill. Oh well, I guess roll me straight up int.
Oh, my neck.
Okay.
What's so wicked?
No! That is horrible. I will reroll that.
Okay, what should I roll to kill a robot and start making my way back
That's
to these
better.
ones? What should I roll?
Well, I'm gonna include it you soon. Don't worry about that.
Oh god.
Anyways, yeah, Kitty, you go around the place and well, this is a really rough neighborhood. As you look around the land and you realize that there's no really fixing a land per se, but you figure out that you maybe could establish your own little gardens and make it out of like...
From the, mulched corpses of our enemies.
Yeah, you can make your own little crown.
Funnily enough, it never came up, but actually a part of Kitty's background involved cultivating a garden which used to be the grave site of the initial research team.
Alright, you rule for 2 more years as suddenly a bad case of a bug of some sort has been catching people, and you realize that as this has been going on, you realize Carr woke up to the camp coughing up freaking blood and being covered in blood, but he's carrying like a head of a meg on one hand as a trophy. And
Which
he's
one
like,
of my hands?
he doesn't even have a freaking weapon left. It seems that he punched it to death.
Yes. Do I have wings now?
It
Let
looks
me
like
have
it,
wings.
and it seems that he has ripped off some kind of a pterodactyl and is using them as some kind of a hand glider.
Do I still have Red's pistol? Yes or no?
Would you have been smart enough to have gotten rid of it after knowing full well that it caused you to have giant arms come out of your back for picking it up?
He probably would have gotten rid of it after he killed the first man. I don't know how long that would be.
Oh yeah,
He probably used the last clip in it and then got rid of it.
So, roll me toughness not to catch death fighters.
Okay. I pass.
With a -10.
Is that for everyone? Right.
Yep.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. With a -10.
Ah. Then I shall re-roll that.
I think I'll also reroll that. With my second
pass.
fate point.
Oh,
Come on, baby.
Guy.
Yes!
In the next campaign beyond, the speak language, it's not Arby, it's Arabic.
There we go. Yeah, I know.
Alright.
No, I've been away from the group for how many years now?
For like 5 years, you have
What the
been
hell?
walking your way over here, just feeding whatever you could find, and you're just covered in freaking blood. It's like you have like one wood left.
Oh god. What the hell is the town setup that I walk into?
If you walk into it, you may get, depending on which way you go, you may get shot or explode.
So, the next 3 years, your town is booming. You have lost some people to the death virus, but
I mean, we
yeah.
killed them and burned their corpses.
And it seems that whatever farmland that Kitty managed to create is like a nice little corner house, as she built it by hand out of whatever material it has left, and it has like a nice little sunroof and a nice little Kitty logo and
See, this is the symbol of our new nation. It's named after Redsburg. It's named after Red, and the symbol is obviously the mayor's wife.
Oh god, I'm 48 years old now. I'm old. I'm getting
Oh yeah, I
old.
need to add 8 years now?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, you're old for Wasteland material as far as that goes.
I'm 30 now.
Unless no one lives this fucking long in the Wasteland.
The
Sure
next
have.
6 years are quite peaceful, actually. Nothing too major happens, nothing... like minor events happen, you keep growing in size, you're up to about old...
How many
30s.
kids does Vincent Kitty have now?
All of them.
All.
It's been several years where there's been very little for the mayor to do.
Unfortunately...
During those 7 years, you briefly pushed the beds together.
What do you mean briefly? They were always together.
After 9 more years, it seems that a big group of legionnaires don't exactly like your camp, and
Why? We trade with them frequently.
you know what? Let's make them raiders.
Okay, we'll bring it on.
I was gonna say, well, like, the thing about the Legion is that they don't kind of give a shit. All our allies eventually become Legionnaires.
Mark, this is your time as head of my security. Scott, this is your time as my loyal bodyguard.
But let's see what happens. We're not gonna do exactly combat because I'm way too lazy for that.
I mean, we have Scar as a mobile unit of war, then Mark, our head of security, so we should get bonuses.
So,
Scar is now using your
roll
power
me, roll me a skill and explain what you're doing with that skill to defend yourself against this attack of rebel.
How
legionnaires.
large is the group?
It's quite large. It's about like 10 people.
10?
I mean, 10 people are going to get mowed down by combination of landmines and kitty turrets, which have almost feline ears.
And any of them that survive are running away or just running down by Mark. Scar's like preparing for battle, and it's just like all of them are dead before he even gets a chance to get riled up.
I'm 58 years old and I'm using a power cannon. Calm down.
Okay, yeah, in the combination between Mark and the turrets and the mines, you just see the fucking legionnaires get mowed down, and after some time you get like an apology letter, and they're like, we're so sorry. And that was some
We send.
We picked the wrong person to fight.
Yeah, we send them another letter with the heads of all the people that tried to attack us.
Yeah, I mean, also one slight point. One of the turrets has been, muffled or suppressed, and as it fires, it goes mew 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 mew.
Okay.
Another 7 years pass as
I begin.
I'm 46.
Security force.
it seems that the
Marcus is hoping that he'll kill you in one of these 7-year periods.
You realize that the caravans that have been coming through this place have been running low as they're avoiding you completely, but thankfully you have established yourself a nice little owned plot of growing plants, so you can sustain yourself with that.
I don't understand. Why are they avoiding us? We've done nothing wrong. Smiles.
It's not exactly gonna last for you ever, so you might want to think about feeding your entire growing family.
That's what Kitty was for. I'm
many
46 years old.
How many able-bodied men do we have?
Like, at this point, like 40-ish of people, so like half of them are male.
Hey guys.
I'll gather them up and we get to trade them for war.
No, yes, guys. For that 7 years, let's prepare to give the Legion some payback. Because they have a town to the east. It's in driving distance.
Gian, what's our role to train the people in the art of melee?
Oh, like, whatever you can think of, maybe...
Weapons.
Command?
If you have command.
Will my command skill gotten any higher?
You know what would be a perfect skill to roll? Like, the fuck is that? I know there's a scholastic lore you can have for like a Chalice.
There should be a trainer skill.
Another 8-year pass as you're once again doing quite well, even despite the fact of not having any caravans. And within that 8 years, you managed to destroy quite a nice settlement of a small settlement of Legion. As your revenge.
Take their food, free their slaves, and they'll be our new serfs.
I mean, you're not quite enough to take on pattern routes, yes, but you managed to get like some smaller place.
You send a letter saying "Oops."
As you're getting slightly older in your age, you feel yourself...
I'm 46 years old.
I'm 64, asshole. Calm your tit.
Oh wait, another 8 years passed. I'm 54 years old.
I'm 72. I'm the oldest man to waste.
You know, Vincent's a surprisingly good father, so it makes up for it.
Scar, you're that old that roll me a D100 to see if you die from old age.
Am I aiming high or aiming low?
Yeah, do you want to add a toughness bonus?
Yeah, can I add my toughness bonus?
You know what, just roll toughness.
Yay!
Well, he's got a fucking tough... Marcus, he's got a toughness of 70. This is gonna be a losing battle.
I know, but it's the first time since I made it that when you hit 60 you gotta roll, so actually Mark also has to roll toughness for his age.
I refuse to die of old age.
Unfortunately, Mark dies.
Mark, use your fate. Use your fate, Mark. Fate.
You know what? You can't burn a fate point to extend
He burns a fate point, and that's...
No, he just fates to reroll.
No, he burns a fate point and he's trapped on life support.
Yeah, this is the last session, so you're burning fate points, and since that was death that he was saving against, he extends his life by just fucking pushing through it, but he has extensive corruption at this point and has developed a tumor in his brains. You realize that Mark doesn't have too long to live.
Fuck.
He has brain cancer. Quickly,
Mark.
Does anyone have a luck of 9 so they can cure him of it?
Mark, there's one thing we must do before you die. I bring him to the center of the city, and there's a statue of him and Red.
Another 10 years pass as Carl and Mark give me another toughness test with a -20.
I'm old.
Wait, 10 years? Hold on a second.
Point.
I'm now 64 years old.
I refuse
alright,
to die of old.
True, roll me toughness too, since you're 60.
I'm still kicking, with my wife.
You see this?
How are the kids? How are the kids? Any good warriors amongst them, like a general?
Oh,
my children.
Mark actually decided to go on his own terms with that fucking tumor.
Oh god. How are my children? I would have had children with the strongest female warrior.
Oh yeah, you have quite a few children. Roll me like a 35.
Okay. Oops. Slash roll 2d5.
So you have 3 children, and one of them is
a grandkid.
Oh dear. This is gonna be good.
Another 13 years pass.
I gotta see this shit.
I'm gonna lose.
He's trying to kill you guys of old age. Eventually he'll get there.
So
I'm 95.
Scar will be rolling with a -50.
Somehow he'll still survive.
I'll spend a fate point. Yeah! I'll be 100, motherfucker.
Alright, Vincent with a -10. Roll the toughness.
That'll teach you, Marcus.
Drew, I'm being like Henderson. I'll outlive all y'all.
Burn it. Burn it all.
Oh, Liz.
Oh yeah, as Cars pushes through some illness that he gets out of nowhere because of his multiple arms, and he's just hearing his voices day after day telling him to
They
kill
talk to him,
fucking,
they cancel him.
to
They
kill
understand.
freaking everything. He's-
Wait, did they tell me to go on a rampage?
Well, they tell you
Yeah.
to go on a rampage, but because you're fucking 96, you like shatter your fucking hip bones. Just trying to get up.
Oh no, my toughness, I think I'm fine. If anything, I started to go out to an average human.
Marcus. Okay, if you remember back, like way back to the where Elias died when I did the voice in
Let's
Elvin's
see.
head thing since he was
17,
crazy. Can I do that
17.
again?
Well, let's see, it was like 7 years, 7
Fuck
years,
you.
and then 14 years.
Yeah.
So,
Kid is definitely the youngest one.
Just use my walking cane.
One more year.
Still have a heavy stubber in my hand.
3 more years passes as Scar, unfortunately, you die out
best
of
age for
old
Kitty.
age.
Let me roll toughness. Let me roll toughness. I want to
roll
get to
toughness
100.
roll toughness at minus 60. You got a 10% chance of hanging in there.
I burn a fate point. Let me get to 100, goddammit.
Nah, dude,
I mean,
you're so sick and mutated at this point that you just go on a fucking rampage before you go out.
He goes on
Okay.
a rampage, breaking all his hips and arms because he's old as fucking shit.
Okay, let me roll to hit with the chain axes.
Just roll me like a 2d10 to see how many people you take out before you go.
As what was expected.
2d10 or 2d20?
2d10.
You're too fucking old for a 2d20. 13
You
people.
say that.
Oh no, I can see that. Say that.
Alright, Vincent, you can roll me toughness with that minus 20 now, I think.
Like, I imagine my own children had to bring me down since they're the only people with the skill and strength to stop me.
Oh yeah, Vincent is still hanging about with Kitty, you're mourning your loved ones.
Dude, they built a statue
Marcus,
of
you're
Scar.
almost there. Just 2 more to go.
Where's my statue? Where is my battle statue?
Another 9 years pass as you guys roll another toughness test. Nothing too
Kitty is
major
now
once
70.
again happens as in fact, yeah, it's been kind of a dry season. Perfect.
Well,
Can I burn my last 2 fate points to come back as someone's baby?
Nah.
Oh.
And I think Kitty-
reincarnation is not the way of the people. Also, Kitty's 70 now.
Oh yeah, Kitty has to start rolling toughness to see if she dies out of old
She is a tech breed, so her toughness should be pretty solid.
Oh yeah,
I
it's only,
live!
it's only
This
toughness
is the
with-
part where I was proven wrong, where I'm about to be proven wrong, aren't I?
Yes.
What? Yeah, see, it wasn't proven wrong.
Okay, 51, so nothing too major happens again within the next 13 years. As, yeah, your town is
Kitty is
into-
now
into
Kitty is
clear
now 83. You motherfucking man, like you guys like might as well. I think you all came out of a vault because you're all doing pretty fucking well.
I didn't die to the dude.
Like actually, yeah, both Vincent came out of a vault, and as for Kitty,
Oh yeah, Vincent, I'm gonna hate to tell you this, but with 102, you roll with a minus 60 to your toughness, so either way you're fucking dead.
I think you auto failed.
yeah,
he burns
Scar is
the
the
fate.
only one who
Well, that's a big middle finger to you, Marcus.
Unfortunately, when you burn out of your fate, you're in a comatose state and last only another year.
He's catatonic.
Catatonic.
Sadly, Kitty is the only leftover as
I am the leftovers!
So Kitty roll me toughness with a -30.
Yeah, she's 83 years old now.
And unfortunately, Kitty dies out of old age too. As we conclude this campaign with your town of Dredsburg. Let's see. A D100, a D100, a D100.
My children are running that town. They are
Alright, so we did really well. It kind of maintained that. Not to the same amazing degree at the start, but it was holding on, and then it fucking went to hell.
For the next 41 years, your town booms and just completely manages to survive and becomes one of the biggest towns in here. But unfortunately, at the end, a tidal wave comes through and washes it all away, but your town shall go in legend.
And the itsy bitsy spider won't ever crawl up the water spout again.
Aww.
The legend of the four-armed elderly man on a scar
who killed 13 people.
To this day, your town of Redsburg, or whatever is left of it, you see your grandchildren come to it.
The town of Redsburg. So Red Fortress.
And look at the statues and pay their respects for decades to come. Your legend shall go on as one of the greatest ones in recent memory.
And a keynote of the longest campaign